Welcome to the MadTrio podcast. This week we have the California Pariah, Jonathan Charny, James, the Fattman Stevens. Hello. And Rob, the old guy.
You're listening to the Rob Charny Show.
It's me, I'm here. Never fear.
Remind me to turn that down. Oh.
I will not.
Hey, you said our recordings were sounded low, so I cranked mine up.
So, I don't know. Hear ye. We're going to talk about the folks at Croaked. I don't know. We're paying...
whatever they... The poor people that have passed away. I'll help correct that.
This segment is basically, we're celebrating the lives of the people who have passed away who... notable, we loved, or just plain... Wow, that's sad. So we're going to start off with the one that probably hurt the most to me was Treat Williams, T-R-E-A-T Williams, Everwood and Hair. You've seen him in a bunch of things. He was even that Billy Zane movie where he played the bad guy on The Phantom.
He's been around forever. Felt like forever. I felt bad about that. Poor guy got in a motorcycle accident. That wasn't his fault. Gosh, surprise.
Yeah, that, man, I heard that. That sucks so bad. I mean, it
does.
Especially when it was something most likely avoidable.
I'm sure he did everything he could. A car basically just cut out right in front of him, and that was it. Part of the reasons why I'm not riding a motorcycle too much anymore.
The young and the restless Brett Hadley died at 92. It's a really good run.
Yeah.
And let's see, who else? Let's see, June 15th, Glenda Jackson, English stage and screen actor, Oscar, BAFTA, Emmy and Tony Award-winning actress, Woman in Love, Elizabeth R., blah, blah, blah. She died at 87. So, wait a minute. This website was wrong. She passed away in 2015. Well, that was... Well, so much for that one.
Well... Our condolences regardless, even though John didn't seem to give a crap.
Yeah,
belated as it may be, I still feel sad.
So apparently this list has a bunch of, June 16th, Daniel Ellsberg, American military analyst, whistleblower, the Pentagon Papers, anti-war advocate, dies of pancreatic cancer at 92 years of age.
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't seem so excited when you find one person.
No, it was just more the fact that I didn't know he was... I actually didn't know he was still... I didn't know he was still alive up until recently. Because he was one of these guys that you read about. And
he's more my era.
Just kind of saying, John, calm down a little bit when you find somebody die. A little sobriety when it comes to it is a good thing.
What's going to happen? A little...
if you say so.
You get more hate mail?
So, I'm tired, by the way. If you can hear I'm punchy. It's been a long day. So, good news on the AI front, and this is something I hope is permanent. Grammys. Only human creators are eligible to win Recording Academy, says response to AI. And I think this is... perfect. My only question that I got to actually read in this article, and I don't remember when I read it, is can AI assist in it, or is it have to be not AI created at all?
Is an AI going to have to determine it's written by an AI?
It's true.
It just, begs the question.
But the other thing I'm wondering, because back in the special effects back in the day, if you've ever seen like the Black Hole, Tron, some of those never got awards for graphics because it was considered cheating using a computer. So maybe this is just something that's going to go away over time.
I don't think we should give AI awards.
No award for you, AI.
I'm saying, I kind of stand with the old way of doing it where it's like, if it's computer generated and not actually, granted, the AI, being able to program the AI to do that is a skill. But once the AI takes over, then is it really a skill from a human anymore?
So isn't that the same kind of argument about CGI in a way?
Yeah.
I mean, right? So it's just like, but my understanding of these guys that do all the CGI work, it's a lot of work.
So
I mean, it takes a lot to do what they do. And
So reading a little bit more into the article, it says a work that contains no human authorship is not eligible for any category, they said under the new artificial intelligence AI protocols released Friday. So it sounds like the AI can be involved, but the human has to have the final say-so. I mean, that's still pretty liberal. I would say no AI in general, personally, which would also ban the final Beatles song. Paul McCartney says he's utilized AI to complete one final Beatles song. The track is believed to be based on the 1978 John Lennon demo called Now and Then and is slated for release this year. So here's my thought on this is,
all right, Paul.
I'm
What
kind
did
of
you have the AI do? Play John's part?
Yeah, John's voice. Jackson was able to extricate.
Well, there you go.
So Jackson was able to extricate John's voice from a ropey little bit of cassette. Okay, we had John's voice and piano, and he could separate them with AI. Then tell the machine that's the voice, this is the guitar, lose the guitar. So when we came to make what was the last Beatles record, it was a demo that John had, and we were able to take John's voice and get it pure through this AI. Then we mixed it into the recording as we normally would do. So I assume I'm actually okay with that. If it's something that the surviving members, being him and Ringo Starr, if they're both like, let's do it. It doesn't bother me. It's like Tupac. One of the concerts a number of years ago had a Tupac hologram, and I think Snoop Dogg was there. It's like, I'm okay with that. It's a little creepy, but
I don't know. Rob, do you watch Black Mirror?
You know, I haven't, and everybody keeps saying, you need to watch Black Mirror.
I know John hadn't, so I wasn't even going to waste my time asking.
Jerk.
The newest season of Black Mirror, the first episode was kind of pretty funny, actually. But it also brings up some interesting questions, okay? So it's basically one of those terms and services episode. You don't read terms and services when you say I accept.
All right.
The Black Mirror's kind of fake Netflix on there took this woman's life, turned it into a TV show. Played by none other than Salma Hayek on the show.
Okay.
But as she's doing the research of it, she finds out that Salma Hayek sold her image to the Netflix pseudo company, and they took her image and did AI with it to create a artificial CGI rendition of Salma Hayek to play this role. So that's like, but the whole thing was input into a computer. So the computer is like the producer, the director, and creates the whole episode type thing.
Wow.
How meta.
So eventually, I'm like, and I thought it was kind of funny because that whole, I think it was South Park was the first one I remember doing an episode on that about, you don't read all that stuff.
Yeah, no EULAs, no terms and conditions, right?
Yeah. So, anyways, but that kind of makes me think of that episode where you get these AIs that you basically. So pretty much what the company did was they set it, left it, and walked away from it. And it's putting out TV shows.
Well, all right. That's interesting.
They're taking the person's life off their phone or any device that he has their app on it. They can record her life and listen to it and create the episode.
It's kind of like deep fake meets AI meets, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's the next reality show.
Exactly. That's what it was. It was a reality show, and it's like they had it on pretty much all the people that had accepted everything. It is. So it's kind of like one of those things. It's like
Oh boy, you mean I got to start reading all that stuff now?
So
becoming more and more a possibility. Like, I mean, you're talking with your phone nearby about something you want to buy, something you're interested in.
Right.
You start seeing ads for it on Facebook or Google or any of that stuff.
So I
Sure.
talk about universal license agreements, or EULAs. I found a listicle, and Melanie, this is for you. So here's, I think here's a 10, but it says, buried in section 57.10 of Amazon's Terms of Service is about the acceptable safe use of lumber yard materials. The online marketplace is stashed a clause that negates the whole section should be the zombie apocalypse takes place. Of course, they have broader legalese the way of stipulating such an event. However, these restrictions will not apply in the event of occurrence certified by the United States Center for Disease Control or successor body of widespread viral infection transmitted via bites or contact with bodily fluids that contains human corpses to reanimate and seeks to consume living human flesh, blood, brain, or nerve tissue, and is likely to result in the fall of organized civilization.
What?
Okay.
So they're protecting themselves against the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, basically.
Exactly.
No, why not?
Why not? So,
Hold on. There's
you
a
guys-
couple. There's a couple.
oh, you
more.
got more to go? Couple of more?
I'm trying to get to the funny ones.
I didn't know you were done. I mean,
I said listicle. Damn it.
well, I know, but you could be one.
It's a listicle of one. One is the loneliest. Number 3, Atomic iTunes. In its end user license agreement, iTunes stipulates that anyone on any of the included list of embargoed countries, an array of persons, entities denied entry to citizens of embargoed countries, wedged into directly after is and added limitations of. You also agree that you will not use these products for any purposes prohibited by the United States law, including without limitations, developing, design, manufacture, production of nuclear missiles or chemical or biological weapons.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And the person's comment, who knew music players even had such capabilities?
How about that? Who knew?
Let's see. What's another one?
Your listicle's too long.
Yeah.
Well, the
But
story behind it's too long.
I did
Gotta do
like
headlines. I got to teach you how to do listicle.
I did like the fact that Amazon, that has a zombie apocalypse thing. That's pretty amusing.
I like that too. I agree. How about if brands were brutally honest for their slogans and some of the things they say here? I've got some under Truth Hurts. We'll put that under there. So it's things like Applebee's, right? Their slogan is good food, good people. It really should be something like professionally microwaved food. Right? Isn't that truth?
And
Truth in advertising, right?
they need to add they need to add something about their crappily over-sugared cocktails.
Yeah.
I don't drink their crap.
Electronic Arts. It's in the game. It should really say, unlock the slogan for only $19.99.
That's damn
Right?
true.
Is that right?
Or-
How about Target.
Or it could be, buy this pack, you could win it.
Yeah, yeah, you could. Or Target. Target is expect more, pay less, but it really should say because you don't want to go to Walmart.
That's true. They're the what are they? What I saw the bourgeois Walmart.
Yeah, exactly. Or here's apples. Think different. That's their slogan. It really should say, you don't want people to think you're poor, do you? I like that one. Pepsi. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. It really should say, is Pepsi okay?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Or Starbucks. They don't really have a slogan, but it should be where it takes 7 words to say coffee.
Actually, my favorite one is actually by Jeff Michael, rest in peace, one of our formerly dearly departed co-hosts. He said only Starbucks can bastardize 7 languages for one business.
Yeah.
He had a pretty funny bit about that.
Nike. Just do it. Or it should really say, are kids making products for yours? That's brutal. I like that one.
They're talking to you, MJ.
Ticketmaster. They don't have a slogan, but it should be, "We'll rob you blind just to see some guy."
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the Taylor one was the Taylor Swift concert one has been brutal.
Fallout's still going on with that one. How about Spirit Airlines? Less money, more go. It should really be. And you thought Greyhound was fucked up.
Was it Spirit Airlines?
Yeah, Spirit Airlines.
Wow.
Or Walmart's statement is save money, live better. It really should be because you don't have Target money. Relating back to Target stores.
As a former worker at the Big Blue Spark, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that one. That's just to say, dear leader's not as nice as he used to be.
Well, there's my short listicle of brutally honest slogan.
So I got in a conversation with somebody a couple of days ago, and I thought it was an interesting conversation, so I thought I would share. How much is too much when it comes to drinks? Like, I know people that'll say once a week is too much, or, a couple of beers a day is fine. So how much do you think is too much when it comes to alcohol? For me, if I have a cocktail, I have one once, maybe twice a week at most.
So more and more studies are showing that this so-called, a glass of red wine is good for you, or 2 glasses are good for you, or it's all bullshit. They're saying really that, our bodies were never designed to metabolize alcohol. And so with that thought in mind, I kind of say that no alcohol is good.
I think it mostly depends on the person. Like, there's some people that can have a drink and stop, or have 2 to 3 and stop, and it's not like a weekly or monthly habit that they form. It's just they just want to do it every so often.
Yeah, understood, but I don't think it was just because you want to. John, were you saying, was it because is alcohol okay, or what was your whole idea?
Well,
behind that one?
the person I was talking to is, the conversation was about, alcoholics. So does having like 2 beers a night make you an alcoholic, or
okay.
does
definition of an alcoholic?
Yeah, because some people will say, hey, you can do this right, that you have a cigar once a month, or a couple of cocktails a week, and that's perfect. And I was like, well, that's just my thing.
I agree with James, though. He's right. I think that it does depend on the person, and everybody's slightly different. There are people that they do the same thing with smoking or whatever, plug in there, whatever it may be, and so yeah, I agree with James on that one. I think it depends on the person, and some people could have one drink and then they're hooked, and they have to have multiple drinks a day and every day, and they start out from the moment they wake up until they go to bed. I mean, the human beings seem to be able to abuse whatever it is that you put in front of us, maybe food or booze or weed or cigarettes or, right? Whatever it could be.
Yeah. Anything can be an addiction, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm a member of, talk about this, I made a joke in one of the record communities and part of Facebook. I said, thanks to you all, I have an addiction, and everybody said, oh, that's not a problem. I've got 1,000 LPs, and this isn't a problem. And I'm like, my wife would murder me if I just somehow had 1,000 LPs and spilling all over the place. So yeah, I just thought it was an interesting conversation, because I would say, having a beer, 2 beers a night, it would be a lot for me, for somebody who doesn't like beer. It's like, I didn't really think that was a big deal. But I guess it depends if you need it to live. Like, if you smoke a lot of marijuana and without it you're just a flaming jerk.
Yeah. Huh.
I think isn't it where the statement you made was like, you need it.
Yeah.
You have to have it. And I think that's, if you can take it or leave it, maybe not as much. But if you have to have it, then that is an issue.
So like,
that could be, people as simple as, that they kind of got hooked on oxycodone because they were treating pain, but the pain is still there. But they have to take, if you don't escalate it, I think if you take a small amount to help with your pain, it helps with your pain. And yeah, your body at some point is going to say, hey, if you stop, I'm going to, knock the shit out of you. But if you can handle it, not put it where you're always going for the high. And I think it's the high part that, we like that. It feels good. Let's do it. Let's keep doing it.
It does. It releases good feelings, from our brain or different parts of our body.
Right.
Just, become addicted to it. Like there's some people that, they're not so much addicted to the flavor of the smoke, but of the actual habit of doing it.
Mm-hmm, exactly. So there's a number of things.
Body mechanic,
right,
rather than the taste or flavor.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
Just however your brain wires your addiction is kind of how it goes.
So that's an interesting point. Like I've known a lot of smokers over the years. The reason they've never been able to stop smoking is because it's their stress relief. It's the one thing they do that actually helps them calm down.
Same thing with alcoholics. There's some people that don't like the taste of certain alcohols, but if it's available and they don't have their flavor, they'll go for that one that they don't like.
They're an equal opportunity offender.
Yeah, so it's just kind of the way that that it's wired. It's what motivates them. There's some people that are alcoholics, but they only drink Bud Light. Not so much anymore, I'm sure, but whatever. If you're addicted to it enough, you're not going to care what's on the bottle.
No, they're probably drinking Bud Light right now because Bud Light's probably dropping their price.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
So I had a couple ones to talk about. You guys want one of my favorite ones that's local? I don't know.
Sure.
I can't say I've heard of this company, but it's a Taqueria Garibaldi's. There's two locations, one in Sacramento and one in Roseville. They are being ordered to pay back wages to 35 employees of $140,000. Are you ready for why?
Okay, go.
This is one I've never heard of. They hired a fake priest to spy on their employees. They offered their employees to get confessions from this fake priest to get their workplace sins out.
Oh, okay.
So these employees had a workplace sponsored priest come to the restaurant for them to lay out their confessions to.
So this would never work.
Pretty clever.
This would never work with any of the Mexicans I know. So I'm kind of confused how they got away with this. Matter of fact, I know a couple of Mexicans that would have made some hilarious stuff up that everybody looked, because once the boss found out, the boss would be looking at sideways.
It's called Catholic guilt.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
so the Department of Labor says an employee testified that the restaurant offered staff a priest to listen to confessions during work hours. The priest urged staff to get the sins out. That's one that I'm like,
I find it pretty damn clever, if you ask me.
What were they doing that?
So I got a tagline. If I ever open a bar, that's going to be the tagline: to get the sins out. Oh, and it should call the bar the sin bin. That way, it's in the
Yeah, I don't know.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's great.
Never heard of that one before. I've heard some weird ones, but that one's pretty up there.
I'm just sitting around and brainstorming about that. Hey, let's get this fake priest to come out and take confessions of our employees, and then we can know their dirty secrets.
Where did he get the priest from? Meganslaw.com?
I don't know. I think they might have just gone out and just hired some random bum off the street, got him a priest outfit. So we'll give you $50 per sin.
I got the old guy to pop. That was worth it for that.
Oh boy!
If you guys, too bad we don't have a video version of the show. You guys missed it. That was funny. So, what do you think? What do you guys think of all these smart stuff? There was a report a little bit ago I read that a lot of people didn't realize that Ring, for example, your Ring camera, your doorbell, your dash cam, whatever, it all goes on Amazon servers, and a lot of people didn't realize that Amazon can really do with whatever they want, where they report it to cops, they can release it, etc. So what do you guys think of that? Do you think
they came out and said, especially when Ring first appeared on the market, that nobody's sitting here watching your videos.
Liars.
And they were, right? Isn't that there's a lawsuit going on where there were employees sitting around watching people's videos and or looking at cameras and things, wanting to see hanky panky.
Well,
right.
Okay.
We just did one about Tesla, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Let me just put this out there in a sense of just kind of where it's at. Now, they have a certain amount of employees there, right? And it's not like they have an unlimited amount. They don't service all this stuff out to India where they have,
we don't know that.
Well, that's true. No, we don't know that.
We don't know that.
But I'm saying, like, in aspects,
you're assuming there's not enough people to watch all this video, and I would agree with you. I know exactly where you're going with this, and I would agree with you. The same thing. The odds of somebody stumbling across your video and being anything other than stupid dogs walking across the street or something, pretty slim.
Yeah, but are there people that are watching the videos? Absolutely. I will say that.
I guarantee
absolutely there's somebody out there who can see your video. That's what I'm going with.
Oh, I guarantee, especially if you're an attractive woman of any age, and they somehow run across your videos and you're doing anything risque, I guarantee you're the one everybody talks about. Hey, check out 625 again.
Yeah. I guarantee that if you're attractive or something interesting happens in your video, I guarantee somebody's going to see it.
No,
it's like I had a friend who I know. She had a Facebook, and I don't know how she did it, but she uploaded a picture of herself topless to Facebook. I don't know how long it was on there, but scrolling through my feed, I saw it, messaged her right away, said, I assume you didn't mean to do that. I guarantee that is still on the internet and has been probably downloaded over 100,000 times by now. Because once it's on the server out there somewhere, it's gone. You can't get it back. People are going to download it.
It would depend on a couple things, and one, in like how tight controlled her. Like Facebook, for example, from my personal Facebook is pretty locked down. If she was smart about it, then it would just be her contacts, and it depends on the people she has. However, if it's wide open, no pun intended, then yeah, her pictures are out there.
Yeah, but once it goes on there, it goes through a bunch of different things, and somebody somewhere, I'm sure, snatched it at some point.
Oh yeah, it had to.
That's what I'm saying. So even your Ring cams that are supposed to be some, server that isn't exposed to everyone, once it's out, it's out. Once it's on the internet, once it's gone through whatever, somebody somewhere out there has access to it. That's just kind of where I'm going with it. So,
you're right.
Pretty much.
Terms and conditions, people, read them.
That's right.
I'm wondering, because at some point, are people going to get tired of all the smart gadgets, like all these new fancy cars that have all these cameras and security systems, and now they're required to have a black box? Are we just going to accept the fact that we have no privacy in this digital world? Or is it some point... I think so, yeah. I think so. I think as time goes on, it's going to be more commonplace, and everybody just kind of gets used to it, and it's just okay. It's just there.
So have you guys ever watched the cop shows for the UK?
No, but I do know they have cameras everywhere in London.
The UK has a very interesting setup for their cop shows, and as John just said, it has a lot to do with their CCTVs. There is CCTV for practically every inch of London and that surrounding areas.
Hello.
And that's what we're going to end up being here. And if you think that the cops aren't going to be able to go and get, not the search warrants, but I'm drawing a blank on it, court orders for your ring cams when incidents happen and things like that, and they can do that.
Hey, the ring, I thought the ring just gave it to them. I thought they just said we need the ring cameras from this block to this block, and I thought they just got permission, like straight out.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm sure they still need some type of what is I'm trying to think of? It's not a search warrant.
Pen warrant?
I think you were right with the court order. I think you need a court order to subpoena.
Yeah, well, there's a type of
can't talk.
There's a type of warrant where they just have to sign something and say, yes, I'm officer yada yada, and I'm requesting this information. It not necessarily goes to the court.
But I'm saying they still have to have that paperwork. That's where I'm going with that.
In theory,
they should have to have something.
But yeah, so I mean that if you aren't thinking that that's going to happen at some point or whatever, you're living in a fantasy world, and it's only going to get worse and worse and worse as we get more smart gadgets and all the other crap. But are we willing to go to revert back to not having those things?
Well, that was my question. Is so in the future, if you want to live a digital free world, when you're like a digital nomad, are you going to be like the Ted Kaczynski character? Are you going to be this really weird people? Like where you just have no. I guess it's 100% possible to live a digital free world. It's just not easy, especially now that the U.S. government and governments around the world are trying to get into digital currency and other things. I wonder.
Well, you just go do the van life bullshit. You can do that. Just instead of a van life, you go do tent life.
I don't think, or buy property in the middle of nowhere.
Sure. Yeah, well, I mean, there still is property out in the middle of nowhere. But I mean, like, I mean, are you, when you're talking about the smart stuff, are you thinking like it's gonna, or even gonna use more with like the fridges, like how you thinking they're gonna regulate how much we eat and all that crap?
Well, no, because all of it
surveillance.
Where all of it's surveillance. They all have cameras. It all connects to a server and all connects to somewhere. So if you put on your tinfoil hat, somebody somewhere knows more about your life than you do. Like if you use your credit card and your debit card, it can tell all sorts of things. There's a story years ago that came out that this girl was looking up a bunch of stuff on the website for Target, and it told her parents that she was pregnant because she was looking up pregnancy tests and all the baby stuff. So,
well, this way, AI is coming. It's going to tell everything and know everything.
To me, it does kind of bother me a little bit. It's not like, the old argument, I don't do anything, why be afraid? It's just kind of creepy how everything is just watching you. Except it's all like a bunch of stupid little howls.
What do you think is going to... Come on, John. Yes, everything is watching you. We just talked about that and the fact that, we put our phones down and we have a conversation about, X, Y, and Z. You look at some... you get on Facebook and there's ads for it.
I've never actually had that happen.
That's because you don't pay attention enough, John.
No, I don't see any ads for stuff I talk about.
It's your hair. You just don't pay attention.
I've never had anything pop up as far as a conversation goes all of a sudden on my phone. Certainly anytime you go to any website to look for anything, you go back on in there, it's there. All those cookies tracking you everywhere. They know what's going on.
However, like
the website has cookies.
eBay keeps telling me like there's a bunch of Stevie Ray Vaughan albums for sale that I'm like, look,
see,
but that's a saved search. That's not that's like going. There's 62 Stevie Ray like wait, hold on. They're how much? I'll wait until it goes lower.
So
buy them when they get down to one.
Yeah,
because then they're running out. There's not going to be any more.
But then the price will go up.
Yeah.
Well, so the price hasn't gone up, and the price is is incredibly reasonable, and you'll love it when you buy it. Is this? Today's show is brought to you by Audacity, the unforgettable party game for mischievous people. The game where dignity is overrated. Make sure you go to oddassity.com or selected stores. Make sure you use MadTrio, all caps, all one word, for 10% off your final order. Make sure you tell Miss Audacity herself that the MadTrio sent you. Do you want to keep up to date with the maddest of the mad at the MadTrio podcast? Make sure you go to themadtrio.com or check out our social media feeds on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
We done.
And to answer somebody who once said, you guys aren't particularly mad, we've taken our Dilaudinum today. We're all pretty calm.
So common mistakes people make when they're young. All right. You guys made any of these?
No.
Never.
All right, here we go. Having children with the wrong person.
I've only done that one.
How come John and I were staring at James?
I actually think that's kind of unfair to the child. However, the said person you have child with is
Well, that's the only good thing that ever came out of it.
Yeah, there you go.
preach.
Yeah, exactly. So, substance abuse. I never abused it. I had a lot of substance.
I've been told I abuse spices fairly regularly by people who eat my food, so I'd have to agree.
That's probably true.
Too much cumin.
Marrying too early or too young, I guess.
I definitely didn't do that.
I did. So, I'll admit to that one. First time.
Elizabeth Taylor over there.
Yeah. Don't tell her. Too much consumer debt. Yeah. Me and Amazon. Let's see. Not saving money for retirement. I'm already in retirement. I've got enough money saved.
I'm saving money, but the government's making it less and less by the day.
All right, here's the one. Maintaining toxic relationships.
Oh.
Friends that you know you really shouldn't be friends with, or people that you know, or...
No, I cut a lot of people off pretty easily. It's not that difficult.
That's still why he's
What
hard to
made you
get a
cut
hold
them
of.
off? Were they toxic?
Probably. It's just
See,
better.
there you go.
Sorry.
Yeah, I had to cut a person out of my life just because I could tell where things were going. It wasn't that they were toxic. It was just like, I just don't need to be around and watch what happens.
Yeah, I've had a few. Not taking care of your teeth. Let me see. Everybody smile. Yeah, everybody's got teeth here. We're okay. But we know some people that haven't. Not taking care of your skin. No, that's why I grew a beard. I don't have to worry about it. Worrying what other people think.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that to some degree.
No, no. I really cared about what people think.
Yeah, James is the exception to the rule.
James is a Jedi master of not give a fuck. It's pretty amazing. I've the stuff I've seen James do, and just like whatever.
So remember, this is when you were a youth, trying to grow up too fast.
And
did you want to get? I remember desperately wanting to be 21 so I could drink, but
that never stopped anybody I know.
Well, that was, you're right. Didn't really, legally going by a drink.
Usually the people I know involved going to the woods, and all of a sudden magic alcohol fairies would appear.
Yeah, poof. Not traveling the world. So that's a regret. I would like to see more of the world, but I'm scared of the world. A lot of places I'd like to go, I'd go, but they might not let me back, or they might kidnap me.
I've been lucky enough to go to a couple places around the world, and it always made me one thing: my bed is the best place to sleep. It's cool to see, but I like being home.
But if you didn't have something to kind of compare it to, maybe you wouldn't think that.
That's true. But
the only thing you ever saw was your bed. Then you definitely want to travel.
I'm not a super traveler person. I have family that love traveling the world, and I'm just like, good for you.
Yeah.
Let me see the slideshow.
How about this one? Not learning from other people's mistakes.
I've learned from all my friends' mistakes.
Bet you haven't.
You don't know my friends.
I don't know. I'm just saying, that seems to be. Getting tattoos you'll regret later in life. I know of a lot of people with that.
I've never had that issue.
Whoops. Yeah, I know you haven't.
Me neither.
Oh, fuck both of you guys.
Well, that's not very nice.
No, I waited till later in life, and I have no regrets.
I actually...
When I was in high school, like graduating, there was a couple tattoos I was going to get. And I had a friend who was wanting to become a tattoo artist, and he was the one that did them. We lost contact outside of high school, so I never got the tattoos. Surprisingly,
Probably a good thing. You never want to be a guinea pig for a beginning tattoo artist.
I know
They generally don't work out well.
I know a surprising number of people that have something that's, the technical definition of a tattoo. And yes, what happened? Oh, a guy, I got this tattoo in the guy's garage. It's like, and oh yeah, he did it for half price. What was the full price? I think you paid too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways, but yeah, that's the only person I was ever going to get tattoos from, and I never got it. I just never went out and did it.
Unfortunately, the gentleman I wanted to get tattooed by is, unfortunately, he is dying. He was a tremendous artist, and he was legitimately somebody, before he started getting really sick, I was going to get tattooed by. And
Oh, you're talking about my favorite artist?
Uh-huh.
Well, he passed away.
I did not.
Yeah. About a week ago.
Oh, damn. But he was absolutely amazing artist, and he was one of the few people that I saw enough of his work. I was like, oh, okay, I could get something. But no, besides that, like, I'm too picky and I'm too ADD. I may love it one day, and the next thing I'm just like, well, how do I get rid of this?
Yeah. That's it on that list.
Oh, come on. There's got to be more.
I'm sure there are, but I'm not going to read anymore.
So, you guys hear about the submersible?
Titanic. How's that thing
They
sung?
shot on them.
How ironic, You go down to look at a wreck and only to have a wreck.
Well, the good thing about it is that they do have like 5 days of air in that vessel. So they're not dead yet if they didn't spring a leak. But, yeah.
And that may be the question, because so many of these submersibles have fail-safes where basically something goes wrong, they drop a bunch of weight, and they pop up like a cork. And apparently this unit kind of got a different way of working or something.
Yeah,
I was trying to read.
How did they lose them, though? That's the thing that I'm so confused about.
So even if they lost communications, because that's the start of it, I guess, they lost the communications went down, and then now they can't. So part of that submarine is not metal. It's a type of whatever. It's made out of some super strong non-metal material. And I think that's what made it financially feasible to make these subs. Well, and they may be a little bit of the problem with finding it as well. But
so
I'm not a marine expert, so I don't know.
Are they going
to 4 days supply of oxygen?
Are they going to drag out the Glomar Explorer? I just don't know how they're going to. This is going to be difficult.
Well, they have other submersibles, I think, in the area or near it or something. And they're calling out everything they can get into the area, and the Coast Guard is out, and they've got some super secret ways of finding subs, and they're going to deploy it. And I don't know.
Stupid question. Do those alternative materials, do they ping like metal?
So that was my thought, that it probably not. Because the whole idea is it's underwater radar. Basically, it has to get a signal back, and if it's not really good at sending signals back, it's weaker and maybe harder to find.
That was one of my favorite stories, by the way. I was reading something a while ago, and the guy said, "You know what? The number one thing you don't want to be near when you're a scuba diver." The guy said, "A submarine with sonar."
Yeah,
I believe that.
Yeah.
But for the price tag of $250,000 for this little trip,
Well, I was explaining to John the way I felt about it was that it's a rich person's venture. It's like going out to outer space. You can afford the millions of dollars to do that. This is a cheap way, Going out and saying, "Hey, I went down and saw the Titanic."
See, this is where I think it went. It was some guy going, "Muffy, how about we see the Titanic next week?" Because how does this conversation come up? I know I want to see a sunken ship. We're at one of the deepest parts in the planet. It's just odd to me. But of course, so is launching your ass in a rocket next to Jeff Bezos. So pick your poison.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I agree. It's a little expensive, I think.
A little. You could buy a decent sized home in Kentucky for $250,000. That's just a ton of money.
The question is, do you want a home in Kentucky or do you want to go see the Titanic? That's the balance.
I'd rather buy a home in Kentucky than see the Titanic, because you know what's going to happen? I can sell the home. I can walk out of it. If you're stuck right next to Titanic, walking out of the hatch is a little hazardous.
Look at this way. You don't come back, you'll be part of the show.
So it reminds me of a Mel Brooks skit.
Yeah.
Do you hear about the family who I can't remember if it was an uncle. I think it was an uncle died. And they go into the basement and find, guess what?
A dead body.
800,000 pennies.
Pennies. I saw that story. They're looking for the one, right? Isn't it?
Yeah,
isn't it?
They only spent an hour looking.
All right.
Now, I got to say, I would actually spend the time. I don't know if I would go through all 800,000.
Yeah. So tell me the story. Do you know more? Because I only blazed headlines. Tell me more about the story.
There was a deceased relative down there. And what happened is when that relative found out that they were going to reduce the amount of copper in the pennies in the 1980s, that person decided that the value of the older pennies from 1980 and older was going to increase. So they decided to start saving pennies.
No.
So any penny that's been found from 79 and below, they just started saving them and throwing them down the basement, apparently. And when that person died, they had a stash of right around 800,000 copper pennies.
Wow.
You think so? As somebody who's bought and sold a few homes, you think you would have found them?
Only worth pennies? Is that what your point was?
Well, this was the home that they've been in for that entire time, John. So, I mean, when he died and the family was going through, his estate and his little hoarding stashes, they came across pennies, which I think is actually one of the better things to hoard than, newspapers or random pieces of fucking plastic.
That's true.
I mean, one of my grandparents used to save the little plastic pizza things so they don't crush the box. They used to save that thing for some stupid reason. So there was a bunch of those all around the house. Why don't
It's a depression era thing. I had one of my grandmothers apparently used to dry and reuse coffee filters. Apparently nobody asked for coffee.
But anyway, so the family only spent an hour looking through these pennies, and then they listed the entire thing for $25,000. And just doing the math, that's a little lowball. So, I don't know.
To be honest, it may be worth it just so they don't have to move it. Because I would be like,
So
they already did move it out of the house. So they already moved the location once.
Then why not go to Coinstar? It may take a while.
Yeah.
I just think they were being lazy because it
definitely sounds like it.
Because if you already picked it up and moved it, go to your local bank or credit union that have a coin machine and just spend a couple hours dumping in.
But I mean, the way I kind of look at it is, you've got a really good shot of finding at least 5 or 6 of those pennies that are actually worth something.
They have an app for that now.
Think of 800,000. and it's saying roughly 800,000. So that, give or take, you have a really good shot of finding at least a couple that might have been stamped incorrectly. I'm not saying you're going to find an extremely rare $1 million penny, but you can find a few that are worth a few $1,000s.
They actually have an app for that I was playing around with because when I worked retail,
it's not a free app, the good ones.
Yeah, this one was not a free app, but it got like a 7-day trial. And anytime I work retail, I always keep change in one pocket so I can switch out coins. And the number of them, I couldn't tell what they were. It's like a Hong Kong nickel and all this stuff. So it is kind of cool to actually see if you got a bunch of random change from all over the world.
Yeah, but I mean, what does the app actually do? You have to does it do it one at a time?
It does it one at a time, which is a pain, but it does tell you what this is approximately worth based on the information can scan from the coin.
Yeah, but just think about doing that 800,000 times.
If
how much does 800,000 pennies weigh?
Anybody have Alexa?
Yeah, computer. How much does 800,000 pennies weigh?
The old guys.
So we got it wrong because it only said 80,000 pennies. Weighs 440 pounds.
Pennies,
yeah.
1,000 pennies is about 7 pounds.
Okay, 7 pounds times 800,000.
Yeah, but if you do 1,000, so it's about 800 pounds. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
It's a lot of pennies.
It is.
Schlep up upstairs.
So how much money would that be? Because I'm too lazy to do the calculations. How much? Hey, James, how much is that actually in money?
$80,000.
Yeah.
You couldn't figure that out, John?
I'm tired. I've been working since
All right.
very early this morning.
Yes.
So did they say why? Did the article actually say why they decided to lowball it?
Because they're just trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, they didn't have the energy to go through 800,000 pennies to find that one worth $1 million.
As somebody who bought their first Xbox and nothing but pennies, I think that they just should have just bought a bunch of rolling machines and some papers and just had an afternoon rolling, because it's amazing what you can buy.
Rolling machines and papers is something different.
Maybe to somebody who grew up in the 60s.
It had something to do with coins? Coin wrappers. Got it.
Because,
I still think they should have just kept it in their, kept the money, gone through it. They just kind of, quickly have one bucket that, is guaranteed these are not worth anything. And that's pretty easy to do. It'll just take you a little while to go through, from 19, you just look and find out where the rare coins are, what years, and you throw those one way, throw the other ones the other way. That's it. So, I mean, that can't be that hard. Cannot.
They obviously decided not to talk to you, James.
They obviously decided that they're dumb and to sell 80,000 coins for $25,000. Yeah. Anyways,
I easy come easy. That's one of those easy come easy go things, right? It's just these people.
I have to admit, if you read that on Facebook Marketplace, you would have thought it was a scam.
Yeah,
so I'm like, how would you run was it a Craigslist ad? Craigslist ad? That's just hilarious.
Well, anyways, but it's one of those. It's not my mistake to make, so they can make it, and whatever.
That's just funny.
Do you guys have any reasons why you shouldn't sleep naked?
I have one.
Whatever you do, don't sleep naked this summer, according to a doctor.
Well, just in case if your house catches on fire, you want to be clothed when you run out the door.
Well, there is that. Those things changed. This doctor said, it's an inside joke. This doctor says that you can fart up to 25 times per day, and every time you fart, you shrew it out. crap out of your ass. And it gets into your bed, so you don't want to be sleeping in your own crap in your bed.
That's why you wash your sheets. I mean, it's the same thing with wearing clothes.
Is that what it is? I wondered why I had to do that.
So how often are you supposed to wash your sheets? Just for all those college students.
I think it's like supposed to be every month. I've heard some people say every 2 weeks. I've heard every month. I've heard every 2 months.
I've heard every week. You know,
Every 3 days.
they start standing up on their own.
Anyways,
Anyway, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it doesn't sound like this doctor's very smart.
I just, he talked about things like you don't sleep as well. I call bullshit on most of this, but
You know what it was is some guy probably asked him, and he's he was probably so annoyed by the question. The guy's like, "Yeah, because you can spray."
yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah, ask a doctor a stupid question; they'll give you a really stupid answer.
well, not all doctors are smart just because you can, and a doctor or what? Who knows? Maybe this guy wasn't an MD. Maybe who knows?
No, hey, what's your doctorate at? Flatly.
How about 10 hit TV shows that are forgotten today?
Sure.
All right. Let's see how far back your memories go. Moonlighting. You guys remember Moonlighting?
Bruce Willis.
Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis. A very popular show back in the days.
I do know of it. I never watched it, though.
Yeah, well, 1985 to 1989.
Oh, was it 85? Okay.
No. Designing Women?
I
You guys
watched
remember
that. That show was hilarious. I don't know why I found it so funny and how young I was, but I found it hilarious.
It was pretty good. Northern Exposure, which I really liked.
That show was funny.
1995. It was a good show. Very quirky. Caroline in the City.
Yes, that was.
Yeah, I like that one, too.
I did too. I can't remember the actress's name though.
No, it's on my head.
I can't remember. It doesn't say.
Is it Leah
It's
Thompson?
interesting. Yeah. That's got to be who it was. Looks like her. I have a picture, but no names. 30-something. I don't even remember 30.
Don't remember that.
I think it was Leah Thompson, honestly.
China Beach. There was a good one. It was a Vietnam story, kind of the Nash-ish in a way.
Wasn't that the one that starred the
Dana
late?
Delaney.
Was-
Dana Delaney.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Leah Thompson.
Oh, okay. L.A. Law. Remember L.A. Law? I do.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good one. I don't know about this one.
Really into, though.
Yeah. Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Yep.
Jane Seymour.
The show where you never wanted her to show up on the doorstep. She was the angel of death.
6 feet under. 6 feet under.
Yeah.
I knew of it but never saw it.
That's a good show. Ryan got me to watch that one.
That sounds like something he would watch.
Well, I could see it would be fun because there's dark humor in it. Hill
likes to-
Street Blues.
He likes to take his work home.
Yeah. Hill Street Blues.
I've watched
81 to
episodes.
87. It was a cop show. It was one of those early
Dramedy,
well-done
right?
cop shows. Yeah. That's it. That's all of them on this list. Boy, it's been a list day for me.
China Beach, wasn't that the one that starred the lady who was on the CSI Las Vegas, the blonde lady?
She was in it.
She played a nurse.
Yeah, well, it was mostly about nurses.
I haven't seen that show in years.
Let's see. I forgot her name too, but I do know Dana Delaney because she was one very good-looking one. Still is very good. Okay, next.
Well,
We've got 7 minutes to fill.
I am out of stories.
Are you out of stories?
Well, let me see if I have anything left.
I've got why James is looking for the last. I've got one more thing here we could kind of talk about. Famous quotes. I don't know about this part that goes guaranteed to send chills down your spine because I don't agree with that last part, but there are some interesting famous quotes. Things like, if there is a God, he must ask me forgiveness.
Okay.
See where it's from, though.
Yeah, well, some of them say, because that one was unknown. This creature softened my heart of stone. She died, and with her death, my last warm feelings for humanity went.
That's a hilarious quote.
Joseph Stalin.
Uh,
Yeah.
you talking about Ava Braun?
Jeez.
No, I don't think so. The saddest thing about betrayals is, let me try this again. The saddest thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies. That one's about as true as you can get.
That was Julius Caesar.
Okay, well, this one's unknown. But maybe Julius Caesar stole it.
No, they said it on the Senate floor.
Yeah, right.
My favorite
So
one was Socrates.
how about this one? Two possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe or we are not. Both of these are equally terrifying. Arthur C. Clarke.
My favorite one was Socrates. I drank what?
The darkest places in hell are reserved for those who maintain their neutrality in times of moral crisis.
That must have come from a politician.
Yeah. Okay. See if you guys know this one. If you're going through hell, keep going.
Okay.
Winston Churchill.
If you're going through hell, keep going.
Yeah, if you're going through the hell, keep going.
Apparently, you wanted to go to
Okay,
the
how
next
about this
level.
one? The world is full of monsters with friendly faces.
That's a truism.
Lemony Snicket.
I was going to say Helen Keller.
Hell is empty, and all the devils are here.
Sounds like Donald Trump.
William Shakespeare.
Oh.
That was too eloquent. It wasn't said in 4 different ways.
Yeah. In the end, it is not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years.
That sounds like Donald Trump.
Abraham Lincoln.
Well, I'm sorry for those who are against Trump. Apparently, I just compared him to a great man. I'm sorry about that.
Everything you love will probably be lost, but in the end, love will come back in another way. Francis Kafka.
Okay.
Yeah, you know. All right, here we go. Let's see. You guys should get this one. I don't know what weapons World War III will be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones.
Yeah, I know that quote. I couldn't tell you who said it, though.
Yeah, I can't tell you he said anything.
Albert Einstein.
That's right.
Oh, talk about that. The Oppenheimer movie is supposed to be fantastic.
I did the same thing. I heard one of his friends had to recover from watching the movie because of how well done it was, and it just broke down.
So it's a movie on the list of things I want to see. I don't know if I'm willing to go to theaters.
Is it streaming?
No, it's theater.
No?
Yeah, it's theater,
Okay.
but it will be
Because
at some point.
Yeah, I want to see it too. Should just be. The only problem is how historical is it really? I mean, does it have a lot of poetic license? Or?
Supposedly, Christopher Nolan tried to make it as accurate as possible, but it's also a movie, so they're going to have to play with the truth. But it's supposed to be really damn good.
Well, good. Then I'll see that.
That's what I heard. I heard it's supposed to be really damn good. I heard a good friend of Oppenheimer, when he went and saw this film, he it was very difficult for him to see because of how well done it was, because all the memories it brought back. But I'm thinking the guy's ancient anyways, if you knew Oppenheimer. So
I don't know. It's like I've talked to multiple people whose parents were in the concentration camps, and they couldn't get past certain scenes and fiddle on the roof. To me, that seems that would be a mark of high praise if it caused that sort of emotional response.
Yeah. All right, here's the last one for you guys. If voting made a difference, they wouldn't let us use it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good one, huh? Any guess?
Ross Perot.
Mark Twain. They were close.
That's why the election was stolen. Tinfoil hat on.
That's why he won.
Well, there you go. I closed out the show. I got it all. We don't need any more.
So
Do you remember how many times Ross Perot actually ran for president? Do you?
No.
This is more than once. I remember that.
He was the last true funny person running for office because his sayings were damn hilarious. Made no sense, but absolutely hysterical.
I can hear Mexico sucking our jobs from here. With your damn ears, sir.
And every comedian decided it's like, maybe I should not say the first thing at the top of my mouth. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the California Pariah, the Fattman, the old guys, and our other ragtag bunch of guests who couldn't make it today, as always, thank you for listening.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.